Alright, there. Hello, everyone. This is Soul Super 17 here. And let me get through this like usual. I did not own this picture. This is not a big video. Alright, okay. So, here's the thing. Alright. I have gotten new games for Christmas. And it's not even Christmas yet. I'm going over to my sister's place on Christmas Day. And I don't know if I'll be able to go over to my friend who gave me the games on Christmas Eve. So he gave me them early. Which are 3 new games that came out this year. And, well, Soul Super is going to be pretty busy. But I'm still going to make videos and do my schoolwork, but I'm going to be playing them along with making videos after on the 21st. So, yeah. But, anyways. Want to say a few things. Someone just say who is Scorpion. Look him up on YouTube. Look up the history of him. Just want to say that real quick. Also, thank you for the people who telling me, what I said about the rope and, kunai. It's just spear. Basically it's going to be like a chain and just a chain and the blade. So basically the spear and the sai, which is the 3-pronged dagger I said what Raphael have. But it's sai. So thank you for the people who told me. And you're going to probably say, oh, I said the name wrong. Yes, I probably did. And you know what? It's alright with me. I don't really, mind. You guys are going to mind, but please don't. I am currently getting one of my new games into my system. You would never believe what it is. An RPG. It's by Square Enix. I'm saying the name wrong. And it's remastered. That's all I'm going to say. But, yeah. And I don't know if I'm going to be playing this a lot along with the other games I have. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm just gonna say a few things about this what if. I am making my own character. It's gonna be maybe 2 ships. Making my own character, and I am kind of need to explain something real quick. The reasons why the Shirai Ryu and the Lin Kuei are fighting again is because somebody from the Shirai Ryu decided to go and kill the previous, the person, basically, the Grand Master of the Lin Kuei, which is the Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat 11. Alright? So, basically, he is dead, and there has been a new Sub-Zero, which is the name of the person. Basically is a female who has a ice quirk and is also trained how to use ice within the Shirai Ryu, and has been, even though they have become assassins, there is only one that will want to become a hero, which is the girl, and her name is, let's say, Mateo. Yeah, Mateo. I'm not gonna say last name, but yeah, Mateo. And she wasn't taking the test for becoming, like Deku, like Deku is. And she watched his performance because she got done real easily. And she was shocked to even see what Deku did. Also, Deku can choose to have his face when he takes off the hood and the mask. But when he rips it off, basically, like, fully rips it off, like, the mask, instead of, like, take it off, he basically will have, like, no, like, face, head, hair, nothing, just the pure on skeleton head. So, yeah, but anyways, this is What If Deku Was Scorpion, Part 2. Alright, so, last time we left off, we found out Deku got into UA. Alright, and, well, the day where he's going to UA, he's packing up everything. His father is there, and his grandfather has came because came to see him off. Well, he doesn't know that, but he's outside waiting. As they got everything ready, Scorpion, Hasashi. Well, Hasashi basically told him, just get everything. Hanzo, just said to him, just don't, overuse your power too much or try to fight anybody, weaker than you. He goes, I know, Grandpa. So, Deku, was walking out the door. His mom, just wishing him good luck, have a nice day at school. He says he will. And then, he hears a familiar voice as soon as he, when he opens up the door. And he looks out, and it is his father's, grandfather. Let's say, how can I say this? Hold on, I need to think of the name. Alright, I had to think of the name, but the name is Tosako Midoriya. As, he says, grandfather? And he says, yes, Midoriya, I'm here to see you off. I heard you gone to UA. So I came by and, want to, wish you luck. As then Deku he just jumps off the freaking, let's say he was on, the 6th floor. He just jumps right off the rail, right over the railing. Which is, grandfathers are like, what the and then, Deku just basically just going down, and he lands perfectly. No bones are broken. Just perfectly fine. He just basically did a superhero landing, gets up and says, thanks, but should have called, or at least text. It would have been a lot better, He goes, yes. I also heard about the news, and, your father, told me about your death and everything, and I was surprised to see that you're back, and, heard. And, he was like, yeah, about the Shirai Ryu, you do know about me going to the Nether Realm, right? He nods, and he was like, okay, good, so we don't have to, don't fight anybody. And he was like, tradition has broken with you, so who cares? Yeah, you're basically a Scorpion, I don't really care. Just don't kill anyone since you want to become a hero. He was like, yeah, but if the forces of Shao Kahn comes around, I am quitting being a hero and I'm just killing them all. As basically Deku has been a little bit less serious and just acting like a normal person, which kind of freaks out his grandfather, but not Hanzo. He's okay with this. It's good for him. So yeah, so Deku already knows where the school is. Everyone says he can teleport, but basically he does. I've been doing that for him. Anytime I have him appear, that's what he's been doing. He's been teleporting. Basically, a fire can come out or a hole can just open, and then he can just go right through that hole and just teleport. Which I've been doing mostly fire. So yeah, basically he uses fire and teleports all the way to UA, and it's right at the door. School's already open. He just walks in. People saw him just teleport, and they're wondering, how the frick did he do that? He has the mask and the hood on. The school allows him to have it. Well, no, he has the mask on. The hood he can't have, which they did send a letter. They forgot to put that in, which Nezu realized. He said, "Ooh, my mistake." So he basically says he can wear the mask, just not the hood. Also, somebody asked me to make Deku's armor as Mortal Kombat X Scorpion. I'd rather make it this, but I guess I can make it a mixture between this and that. Actually, no, I'm actually gonna look it up, so give me a minute. I guess I can make it a mixture between it and this. I just like the way how this one looks a little bit more, so my apologies, but that's gonna be his hero costume. He'll have less armor, just around the arms and shoulders, but that's when he's fighting Shao Kahn's forces, or if anything I put them in. So yeah. Also, if you're wondering what's that running, that's my PS4. and it is downloading the game, like I told you before. But yeah, so anyways, Deku, he just walking in. He basically finds a map saying where class 1A, like all the classes are, and he finds where class 1A is. So he just gets there. Also, Mineta's not in here. Mineta's not in class 1A. It's and Ojiro, no, Ojiro, the guy that can, Sugar Rush. He's not in class 1A. He's in class 1B. Sorry to anyone who likes Sugar Rush, but Mineta did get replaced by Makio. The Sub-Zero. She is very strong. She is like Deku in a way, but human has not been around for 2,007 years, or 26,000 years. I believe. Not much experience like Deku has, so but she doesn't know what Deku can do. Neither does anyone else. And Nezu has informed Aizawa that he may need to have him basically have a hand-to-hand combat with Makio. And Aizawa goes, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Because she was a part of the Lin Kuei, which her family agreed to let her become a hero and actually stop becoming like assassins. So the father was turned himself in, so that way she can become a hero. Her father loved her so much he was willing to give up everything just for her, which the Lin Kueis kind of understood. So kind of understood. There's only like 2 people that didn't, the grandparents. So, but freak them. Who cares about them? So Deku walks in. Makio's already there. Momo and Kendo. And Makio sees Deku, and right away she can feel her hatred for him rising. Even like she thought she would like him in person, but for some reason there's that vibe where she just hates. And Deku just, having the mask on, just says, if you glare at me, your face is gonna stay that way forever, right? And she goes, what? He goes like, you're looking at me like you hate me, which I have done nothing to you. So, if you're gonna stare at me like that, you better have a reason. And she goes, oh, I do have a reason, I just don't know what it is yet. And he goes like, oh, really? She goes, yeah. He goes, alright. I understand. And Deku goes to his seat. He sits down. A few minutes later, Baku comes in. He goes, yo, Izuku! Oh, there you are. He goes like, yo, Bakugo. He goes, so we're not calling any nicknames now? He goes like, yeah, we're not. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot you wanted to talk to me. He was like, yeah, my mom texted me, said I had to come home, so I wasn't, there. So, what do you want to talk about? I was like, can we, start over, basically? Friendship? He goes, sure, why not? I mean, I don't want to, but at the same time, I want to see where this goes. And Baku was like, oh, okay, you're very blunt now. He was like, yeah, by the way, your explosions won't work on me. So, don't even try it. Explosion Pomeranian. Which Bakugo goes, what do you mean Explosion Pomeranian? He was like, there, see? Pomeranians get really angry. And Makio just starts laughing. And, Kendo just sighs and goes like, really? You have to? He goes like, look at him. He's angry right now. Look. And Kendo then starts laughing because she says he's right. So so everyone just started chatting, after everyone comes in. And a few minutes later, Aizawa. Aizawa says it takes you about 7 minutes to, get quiet. That's not good enough. And then he explains who he is. the teacher, and that we're gonna have to, quirk assessment tests. Even though he's looking at Zuko, says, even you. He goes like, all right, teach. But I'm gonna need probably be the only one here that's gonna beat everyone. Besides in one event, I have a feeling. And he was like, all right, so put on these, gym uniform. I mean, the gym clothes, and get going. Which Rocket does say, like, what about the assembly? And Deku just stand up, got his stuff, along with Makio and Bakio, and they just walk in and says, okay, follow those three, examples. Which everyone just does. Everyone changed. Nothing happened in there, but Deku knows the hole, which fire he just puts his finger where the hole is and starts heating it up, and boom, fire all the way through. And it melts the wall to the point where it, just seals up the hole. That's it. And so, what happens is everyone's out there. They're all, I wonder what they're going to have to do. So, Bakugo just asks, Deku, did he get first place? And he says, yeah, pretty much easily. And Bakugo just smiles, like, good to know. Alright, so, as it comes out, he throws the ball to Deku, saying, since you got first place, throw the ball, use all your might, don't hold back, and use your quirk. And Deku just shrugs and says, alright. He goes, and so, basically, he gets to where he has to be, and right then and there, Hanzo just tells him, use about 50% strength and at least 20% heat. He goes, all right. So he just gets ready in a pitch position, and then he throws it. And Aizawa did try to stop him from using his fire, but Deku just threw the ball. It caught on fire. It went like about 2,000 meters, which everyone was shocked about, even including Bakugo. And he says, I probably could have thrown a little bit farther if you didn't stop me, Mr. Aizawa. I'm sure I should call you a Razorhead. He goes, how did you? Was like, I mean, I did woke up stiff this morning, so my arms are a little stiff, so. And as Deku just starts stretching, you can just, like, everyone hears, like, his multiple, like, his back crack. Then he, like, cracks his shoulders and arms and stuff. And let's just say, while he was doing this, girls were noticing it, and they were just blushing. Because, well, like I did say, Deku is, he trained for 2,000 or 26,000 years. And he is, well, muscular as all heck, but very slim. So, girls try not to have a nosebleed. Just want to put that in as a funny thing. And Makio is kind of curious. So he asks Aizawa if he can throw it again. He goes, alright. So Deku, since he's all stretched, he throws it at 50% strength, and it's more than what he had. About another, it's about 9,000 meters, which Deku just grins. And Aizawa was just in shock. He goes, alright, next person. There's, he basically does say, well, to everyone, saying you're allowed to use your quirks and all that. So, everyone gets excited. He then says the exact same thing. And, well, what happens next is, everything in the events go different. Deku just annihilates everyone besides in the ball throw, and he gets first place. No one's got kicked out. But he does say, but there's also one more thing we have to do. Makio, you and Izuku are gonna fight in hand-to-hand combat. I want to see what you got. Which Izuku says, alright. And Makio just smiles and laughs a little. Says, me against him? This will be too easy. For me, that is. And she's, they just walk over to, like, I don't know, farther away from people. And she just says, give up now, and you won't get hurt too badly. Your pride will. As Deku just says, I won't let no one beat me up again. You won't even be able to even hurt me. So she just says, oh, cocky. Alright. So basically what happens is, she starts to make some ice around her. The ground's becoming, just going to be, frozen over. And then she basically sends ice over to him. This is a part of the Wind Clay's techniques, along with her quirk, which that is why she's very strong in the Wind Clay. And sorry, just trying to get my games downloaded onto my PS4. Yeah. But alright, so they have, Deku, he just stands there, waiting for the ice to come at him, which she sends a pillar of fire at him. I mean, not fire, a pillar of ice. As then Deku just puts out one finger, and it's on fire, and all he just does is slash downwards. As it gets cut in, and it's just being cut right through. That's how hot he made his finger be. Hold on. As Makio is in shock by this, and he goes, "Alright." He cracked his neck a little bit. He goes like, "Let's get this over and done with." As he just runs right forward, which his feet are on fire, and the ice is melting. She's throwing multiple, ice attacks, and then she makes a sword of fire. As Deku summons out a sword. Not a sword of fire, man. She makes a sword of ice, as Deku just summons out a sword, and it's on fire. As basically, they clash, and they throw multiple attacks, and Deku can already tell this is the Lin Kuei style. As then she starts throwing kicks and strikes, even slides on its ice, and Deku dodges over this, and he just says, "So the Lin Kuei, huh? You were taught by them." And when he said that to her, her eyes widened. It was like, "How do you?" It was like, "Alright, maybe you should recognize this." As he just dashes forward, he just runs right forward to her, and he just starts throwing punches from the Shirai Ryu. And she realizes who he is. And she basically gets mad, and she's thrown out, like, she's trying to kill him now, basically. As Deku then all of a sudden throws up the spear out of his hand, and and basically it wraps around her, as he says, "Get over here!" And he just pulls forward on it, and she's sent flying towards him, as he just kicks her right in the face, send her into the ground, and the freaking chain is just going back to his hand, and he goes, "Didn't you hear? I'm the boy who died, not, a couple months back, 10 months ago, and I came back." Surprised? She gets up and, she spits out some blood. She says, How do you know the Shirai Ryu if you're not a part of them?" He goes, "Oh, easy. I'm the grandson of one. Should I say Hanzo Hasashi? Rings a bell?" Which her eyes widen, and she goes, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I don't mind telling you. You don't seem like you're in them anymore. If you were, well, there'd be more of you here, right?" She basically, she does this all herself, and he just goes, "Alright, let's do this a hand-to-hand combat. Nothing else. No tricks, no ice." And he goes, like, "Very well." Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Well, yeah. So he says, "Very well, then." So, they just start, fighting, throwing punches and kicks, techniques, and everyone's in shock by this. They're not equally matched. Makio is getting, like, really pushed back, while she can't even lay one finger on Deku. And basically, He then, when she throws the punch, he dodges, grabs her arm, and grabs her by the collar of the uniform and throws her over his shoulder after he kicked her feet out underneath her, and he throws her to the ground. And this, he summons a fire sword and holds it to her, like the tip of it at her neck, and he says, "You lost. Don't get up." And she says, "All right, you win." So then the sword disappears. He basically takes her hand and picks her up, like pulls her up onto her feet. And she says, "Not bad. How long have you been training? 10 months?" He was like, "You wouldn't believe me if I told you." She goes, "Try me. 26,000 years, like 26,000 years of training." She goes, "What?" He goes, "You ever heard the Nether Realm?" She goes, "Yeah, I was there, and I've been there for 26,000 or 2,000 years. It's been so long, I forgot what it was." So she's understands now how she lost. He says, "You're not bad. Your fighting style is not bad. It's not because you lost because of your because your skills are lacking. It's because you're technically weaker than me, and I was kind of holding back since we kind of holding back now, using our skills to the fullest. But hey, you did a pretty good fight." He just walks away from her. She goes, "Oh yeah, what's with the mask?" He goes like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I heard when Scorpion, was able to rip off his mask and basically there was like a skeleton head and he could breathe fire." She goes, "Yeah." He goes like, "That's what happens to me when I rip off my mask. I can take it off. If when I rip it off though, that's when my face turns into a skeleton." She goes, "Oh, nice." She's kind of freaked out by that. So everyone saw that. Bakugo was very impressed. He goes, "How long did it take you to learn how to fight like that?" He says, 26,000 years. He goes, "What?" He was like, "Never mind." And unknowns to him, there has been a certain somebody has been watching him. Not Raiden. Raiden. Raiden, whatever way you want to pronounce it, but anyways, and it's Shao Kahn. He goes, "Huh. So, a new Scorpion has arise, and it's the previous one's great grandson." Remarkable. That family is always good at fighting. This is gonna get a lot more interesting to see. And so, Deku, everyone, compliments on Deku, and Aizawa was in shock by this. So he compliments, his and Makio's fight, and their display of power and such, so, and no one gets expelled, so yeah. Let's do, like, the next day, yeah. So basically, the next day, All Might comes in the same way as Makio and Deku don't even care. Everyone else does. They all get their hero costumes. Makio does have the Sub-Zero look, but a little bit more, like, armor or such on. And less revealing. Just want to point that out. It's not going to be, like, revealing. And Deku, he has a lot of this on, but it is a mixture with Mortal Kombat X Scorpion. A little bit. But, yeah. So basically, All Might says about how heroes are and such, how you're supposed to protect people, and Deku just decides just to say one thing. He goes like, "So what happened to me, huh?" He goes, "Well," he was like, you don't know? Remember me, Izuku Midoriya?" He was like, "Oh, he goes, yes." He goes, "Yeah, I heard that you were the one who found me. So what happened to me, All Might?" And Deku doesn't hold All Might responsible, but he's just doing this to see what All Might said. He was like, "Look, I am very sorry for what I, could not save you in time. I took the wrong turn and I almost lost him. That's my, reason." And he goes like, "Yeah, here's I'll make excuses." And this is kind of getting into All Might's ego a little bit, and then Deku just starts laughing. He goes, "Sorry about that, All Might, but hey, it's alright. I don't really mind." Because when he was like, "Well, I met somebody, I gained power, blah 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 blah, yada 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 yada. I came back to life, and I trained for like so long it's impossible to even tell." Well, sorry, but anyway, so All Might does the random teams, and it is Makio and Izuku versus Todoroki and mm, Denki. And Makio doesn't really hate Deku, but they kind of have a rivalry going on. They already established it. But basically, Todoroki, he does not like Deku because of fire. Basically, he goes like, "He has fire just like my father. I hate him already." Just Todoroki just being Todoroki. And so, hero team is Deku, Makio villain team, you know, Denki and Denki and sorry, Todoroki. Sorry about that. It's just something that happened to my update. But anyways, they, you know, Denki just asked him what we're gonna do about this. Todoroki just says, "Stay out of my way. This is mine. My fight." And so, you know, basically what happens with Izuku and Makio, she asks what we're gonna do. He goes like, "Well, Todoroki may try to freeze it, and I think I can walk through it by heating up my body and melting it. But what about you?" She says, "Oh, I can control the ice. You know, I can even use his own ice against him." He goes, "Really?" He was like, "Yes, it's part of my quirk. Plus, it also works with the Lin Kuei style." And he goes, "Huh, cool." And she goes, "Was that a pun?" He goes like, "No, sorry, didn't mean it." He really did not mean it. He just says, "Did I really just make a pun? Jesus, what's wrong with me?" So after they come up with a plan, it's basically go in and one can search from the top, or they can both go in for the door. But but then they notice Todoroki does like freeze over the place, so yeah. And he says he can go from the top since the ice is a good location for him to find it. And she goes, "No, how about this? We go together and we fight Todoroki, because I have a feeling he hates you for some reason." As Deku just says, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah. Call it girl's intuition." He goes like, "All right, you're my partner, so lead the way, partner." As they start walking in, and there is ice on the ground. She's controlling the ice to basically move to the walls and such. And Deku kind of just like puts his hand on it, and she asks, "What are you doing?" He just says, "It's just leaving a mark." Sorry. And she goes, asks why. He goes like, "Just in case." She goes, "What do you mean?" He goes like, "You never know. It just happens." And so this goes on for a couple minutes, and well, Todoroki notices it, and he was already waiting for them. So he just says, "Izuku, I will, basically defeat you here and now, and mm, and basically show that I don't need to be better. I mean, I can be better or just be using my ice. As well, Makio does ask him, should she intervene? If he wants, he goes, you can watch or you can. It doesn't really matter to me. Todoroki just shooting out ice at him as he just shoots out a fire blast. And then, as you know, he gets out. I mean, he summons out his like two sides, and and she goes, "What the? You can summon more than like swords?" He goes like, "Yeah." Besides, also the spear in my hand. So, anyways, as he just runs towards well, to Todoroki, and he just basically like dodges ice, jumps right over it too, and basically just runs on the ice, which Deku's using his feet to melt it to get traction, which is like Todoroki's getting pissed. So he tries to do another attack, but form up spikes as Deku just suddenly like burnt bodies on a whole entire fire, and he just runs right through it, melting them. And right when Todoroki about to do another ice attack, Deku kicks him in the stomach without no fire on him, sends him flying into a wall, and then he basically runs over and puts both his hands and both his hands into the wall with the size, around his wrists, on both of them. And his legs are not on the floor, so yeah. As he goes, what the? He goes, I beat you. Too easy. He just says, alright, let's go. As, she looks at Todoroki and says, just relying on one part of your power is useless. It's your power, and you're, wasting it. And she leaves him. Akio is, just gave him some life lesson. But he doesn't care. But at the same time, he's like, whoa, sorry, sorry. But, he just starts, he starts thinking about it. So, yeah. When they get up to Denki just says, I surrender. No, I'm just kidding. Denki tries to do 1 million volts, which Deku just grabs Miyoko. Wait, Motoko? I think I said Miyoko. Yeah, it's Miyoko, I believe. Jeez, I'm starting to get tired now, guys. Jeez. But anyways, Miyoko, it was like, what the, fire appears and they teleport. As Denki's just it's right next to a bomb. Denki's, being like, oh. I was like, dumb and stuff, so, yeah. And they touch the bomb because Denki's not a threat, so yeah. So, after that, they ask how did they do. Deku can summon back his size back to him. And basically Momo just says, they did very good, especially, their teamwork with each other. And so everyone's fights go somewhat similar, besides one which has Bako and Ida. Well, Araka was someone else. Let's just say not Ojiro, but Sero. Yeah, as well, Bako's a little bit less like exploding, more working with team and such. So they come up with a decent plan to win. Sero and Bako, which Ida and Araka try to come up with a plan. No. I got it mixed up. It's Bako and Ida, which, yeah, they both come up with a decent plan. Sero and Araka come up with a plan, and let's just say, Hero Team almost won. They ran out of time. So Villain Team won. And after that, uh, All Might leaves. Azawa, comes in right afterwards and just says there's another part to this. We're gonna have combat fighting. So, not Todoroki, Bakugo versus Zuko Midoriya, and then he says everything else, which Makio versus Todoroki. Todoroki can get a little bit of revenge, kinda. So, Bakugo and Zuko are gonna be last. So Makio wins the fight by using Todoroki's ice against him, which he's kind of mad at. But hey, it's whatevs. You can't win against somebody who's harder than Lin Kuei. And also, she used ice to teleport after she froze like most of the area, which surprised most people. Not Deku though, because since he probably figures she is the Sub-Zero. She's like the most strongest part of the Lin Kuei, so yeah. So after that, it's Deku versus Bakugo. Bakugo just says, "Alright, Zuko, let's see how strong you got it." And Deku just says, "Alright, I can end this in one shot." He goes, "How?" He goes, like this. As the next thing spear comes out of his hand, wraps around Bakugo, and he says, "Get over here!" And Bakugo goes, "Wait, what?" And he's flying forward. Bakugo, uses this along with explosions to propel himself even faster towards Deku. But Deku teleports to being up right above Bakugo, and he slams his foot right into his back, sending him right into the ground. Bakugo, being stubborn, gets up, and he goes, "Alright, nerd, take this!" And he goes, he's back to his old self. Alright, this is gonna be even way more fun. And so Bakugo throws more explosions. Deku he's not revealing too much of his power, but the explosions seems like they're not doing much to Deku, because he's just like somewhat tanking them. He dodges a few of them, he gets hit by some, but nothing happens. Like there's no marks or anything, which Bakugo's been kind of confused about. So Deku just says, "You done?" Bakugo goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, you're done." And then Deku just slams his foot right into the ground while it's on fire, and he just basically sends fire right to Bakugo as a huge explosion happens. And he goes, "And that's checkmate." So, yeah. Bakugo's like unconscious. And then Izuo says, "Izuku Midoriya wins." And then Bakugo just says, "I'm not done yet." And Deku just goes, "Holy crap, man. You come back real quick." He goes, "Huh?" He goes, "You were knocked out for about like 5 seconds." He goes, "Oh no, that means, yeah, I won." He goes like, "No! Alright, I'll get stronger now. Even if you train for around a year," she said. That's probably true. Maybe. Since, well, you got power from somewhere. Well, you said you had it, so yeah, whatever. As that happens, and yeah, that's where I'm gonna. And well, after that, Makio asks Izuku if she would like to hang out with her, and he says he doesn't mind as long as long as he can invite like a friend over. She goes, "Bakugo?" She goes, "Yeah, trying to get our friendship back. So you mind?" She goes, "No." So they hang out. Kirishima also came with, because you gotta have Kirishima with Bakugo. It's like not in that not like a shit way, just like friendly way, like how you can't have one without the other. That sort of thing happening still. Like Kirishima will always be like Bakugo's like friend, like best friend, but Izuku's in this one is Bakugo's best friend. Like, and along Kirishima. So yeah, they hang out. They go like just out right away. They basically go to the mall. They find some stores they like. Deku found like he basically sees some clothing he likes. He had some money on him, so he bought them. Makio, he asked her about her family situation. He found out about her dad, and that's kind of brave of him for what he's doing for you. She goes, yeah, I know. I mean, he loves me a lot. What about your dad? He was like, oh, he was the grandmaster of the not the Lin of the Shirai Ryu. So, and she basically stopped, looks at him, and he goes, what about? He goes, my dad wants me nothing to do with anything. She goes, wait, what? He was like, yeah, he did not train me to become a Shirai Ryu. He just wanted me to be a normal Izuku Midoriya. But dying happened, and I went to another realm. And, well, she says, she's sorry to hear about that, and that, no one, and, you're the grandson, so that means your father is the grandson of Scorpion, of, Hanzo Hasashi. She was, yeah, that's kind of still freaking me out a little bit. But hey, it's whatever. So, they're all chatting when they get something to eat. Deku basically just says he can teleport. Him and Bakugo in the neighborhood where they live, but they don't know about Makio. And Makio asks where does he live, and turns out they live in the same apartment building. He goes, wow, that's pretty cool. She goes, yeah. So after they eat, talk a little bit more. Everyone decides to go home. Deku says, just grab onto my shoulders, and they do, and this, he just teleports back into the neighborhood, and Bakugo goes over to his place, going his way. He says, see you later, Zuko. He goes, oh, see you, Bakugo. And, Makio and him are just starting to talk. Basically, what, they're talking about is, life, before becoming to UA, as she found out he was being bullied by Bakugo. Bakugo told him to take a swine dive off of the roof, and then, she kind of hates Bakugo, but after he said about the whole entire apology he did back at the, entrance exam, he seems a lot more different. And then she realized, so that was the guy who, was whining like a little girl, like a little baby. And he goes, yeah. Gotcha. Oh, he says, Bakugo. She goes, that's funny. He goes, yeah. So, what apartment building, what part of the building you live? She says she lives on the 3rd floor. He says he lives on the 6th. And she says, you want to hang out this weekend? He goes, sure. By the way, I have my grandfather in my head. She goes, what? He goes, yeah, hold on. As he does the little hand sign, he does like the fire ring, and then as he moves back away, and Scorpion comes out. Scorpion gets formed, and he says, hello there, as he bows to her. And she goes, so you're Sub-Zero? She goes, yes. And you are the new, not the Sub, no, she doesn't say that. She says Scorpion, or Hanzo Hasashi. He goes, yes, and you are, and then she says, I'm just Makio. And he looks at her, he goes like, you seem like the Sub-Zero I knew before I died. She goes, oh, really? A little sweat's going down her face, and he's not going to reveal it, but there's a hint. And he just says, well, I just wanted to ask you. I already know what happened to my old friend. I just want to know, did he have any children? And she nods. He goes, alright, that's all I need to know. Also, why did you want to become a hero? She goes, because, everyone who saved Earth, because of Mortal Kombat 11, she wanted to become just like them. But she wanted to become a hero and protect the innocent. So he respects that. And so so he basically takes her up to the floor that she's on. She, bows over, and, already Scorpion went back into his head and went back. And yeah, so she bows to him saying, thank you, and, I'll see you at school tomorrow. She goes, yeah, I'll wait for you, alright? She nods. So he's walking up. Makio gets into her apartment building with mom and her little brother and sister there. And she goes, oh, Makio's mom says, so, were you talking to that, Azuku boy? And she goes, yeah, mom. You have a problem with it? She goes, well, after what you told me about him, knowing about the Shiraryu, did you find any more? Yeah, turns out he never was trained by them. Well, not by the current Shiraryu. He was trained by Scorpion. Hanzo Hasashi. Which, she was like cutting some, like, making dinner, and she stops. She goes, how? He goes, another realm. And she goes, oh, alright then. Good boy? And she goes, yeah, he's really nice. He doesn't really, kill anyone. He doesn't attack me. He doesn't insult me. He respects me and my decisions. And I met Scorpion. Well, I met Hanzo. She goes, huh? And he might know that I am the Sub-Zero he knew, his granddaughter. Great-granddaughter. So, yeah. And that's the thing. Anyway, she just smiles and says, Grandpa always did tell me about him. How he was like a very, very determined man. When he made up his mind, he was very stern, very stubborn, but kind, compassionate. That's all. Which, she agrees, and she doesn't see it in Zuku, but she sees that he can be mean or nasty if he needs to, but she sees a lot more of the kindness and the compassion. And she also tells her mom that he was quirkless, which even shocks her. She asks, was he, and she goes, yep, by his best friend. Well, his childhood best friend, but they weren't. And now they are again, which she, smiles. So she's like thinking in her head that he is not a Shiraryu. She was thinking a little bit, he's a Shiraryu, and that maybe, she should try to kill him. But now she knows more, she's not. So she says she's gonna hang out with him this weekend, which is Sunday. Well, so she's gonna ask if he can come over. She says yeah. So, anyways, though, Deku, we're gonna go with Deku as he goes, into his house and goes there. Sashi's there still, and he goes, Dad, when are you supposed to go back to the Shiraryu? The Shiraryu headquarters. He goes, your grandfather told me I can. They already found my next guy, and he's already in my place right now. So I'm home permanently. I already have my job, and I worked all day today. And he goes, oh, all right. So you want to spar at me for a little bit? And his father says, no, you're just way powerful. And he says, yeah, your grandfather can beat me. And he says, yes, he can. Because he is, the Scorpion before you. I mean, the title of Scorpion wasn't going to be going to someone else, which they are pissed, and they may try to hunt you down. You know that, right? As Deku just says, okay, he's dead then. Just calmly and blankly, and that freaks out everyone. Well, everyone besides Hanzo. He just laughs and says that we will always be killed by the strong. Just try not to kill him. He goes, yeah, I'll kill his pride, he says out loud, which Inko kind of is not, used to hearing her baby boy being this way. And as Sashi just says, oh, thank you for not killing him. He's a good, a good warrior or such. And he's like one of the strongest, but, his overconfidence will get him to be dead soon. So it's good for you to knock him down a peg right now, I think. Which Deku says agrees with him on that, since it sounds like it. So that's the plan. And so Deku gets changed. comes out, helps out with dinner, and that's where I'm calling the video ends. Alright, I know this ain't long, but hey, I hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you guys are, and tomorrow morning, well, actually this morning, I may be making another video. Depends if I don't go on to my new games and play for a little bit. Alright, so, have a nice day, night, wherever you guys are. Bye, everyone.